So as you may have noticed, there was no vlog on Friday. Um, yeah, I know, I failed miserably. It turned out that Ed had to work that day, and so we didn't get any shooting done, and I had nothing worth filming on Friday. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any work at all. It's terrible. And then I was thinking about making up a vlog and doing one on Saturday, but then I spent the whole day, well, most of the day, in Fremont painting my grandfather's house and getting that ready for sale or whatever they're doing with that. So I didn't feel like I just didn't feel like doing it. I know, terrible. I couldn't even get through 1 week's worth of vlogging. But it's a new week. It's Monday. Yay! Mondays aren't that exciting. But it's a new week. And this week I am for certain I'm going to do this every day. This time, for sure. I promise. No, seriously, I do. No, really. No, I know you don't believe me. I'm going to. So, anyway, Saturday was a interesting day. I ended up getting... You know, it's really interesting when when your grandparents get really old and to the point where they're going to either pass on or they're moving out of their houses because they want to downsize, and you go to help them clean up, you end up with a lot of stuff, a lot of things that they don't want to throw away because it's hard for them to get rid of things that represent their entire life. And so they feel good if they can pass those things on to someone else. And so people like me, which I'm grateful for, but at the same time it's interesting, end up with lots of just stuff. He gave the wife in this box here is it's a punch bowl set, which we don't really need because we don't have parties that necessitate punch bowls. We don't really have parties, period. I don't know. So you get stuff like that, and there's some other things too. For me, like I'm a huge fan of records. That's my record player, and that's my record collection. Some of it, but I've had grandparents that have passed away, and they've left me lots of records. So I have other records on the floor in our apartment, and then I ended up with a bunch more records, all good swing albums, I might add, from my grandfather's house, plus even more old 78s that I have to go through. Old ones that I don't even know what's on them, and these are the old, these aren't even vinyl, these are the old hard plastic ones that break if you are too rough with them. They are, so I have a lot of just crazy stuff, and then some other things that I ended up with out of his place was this chandelier that they said looks like it's from the Addams Family, which I would have to concur. They thought I would like it, and I thought, what the heck, I'll take it. Because the wife and I are writing a play for our church, for the youth, and we're going to put on a production for the church, and so we took a couple of things for props, and that's one of them. And in this really interesting looking candle holder as well, that purely just for props. So it's just interesting when you go to help do these things, because you end up with stuff that you never would buy for yourself or ever want or need, but you take it because you want to make them feel better and not be so down about having to throw away 80 years of their life into a dumpster. So that was my weekend, and I apologize again for not doing my vlog Friday. If there's anyone watching, if you want to try to punish me, leave that in comments, and we'll see if you can come up with anything interesting for me to do. Although, well, whatever. Yeah, you just comment below. That'll be good. And I told you guys on Thursday that I was going to start doing readings every Friday and every Monday. And I think I want to switch it. I want to do other people's readings on Monday, start the week off with something good, and then we can end the week on something that I've written. So, you can, well, let's start off the week on a good note. How about that? So today, I'm just going to do a quick reading from something I like, and then I think we're going to call it a day. unless something interesting happens later this evening. I'm hoping that the wife and I are going to start our vlog in the next couple days on our channel that we have, and hopefully that'll be a kind of a weekly or twice a week type of thing, you know, the fun stuff that we do. We do a lot of interesting things, I guess. So with that, I'm going to do a quick reading for you guys of one of my favorite poets. I was thinking of how I wanted to start this and what kind of things I wanted to share, what types of authors and types of writing, and currently I'm reading a book called Impossible Motherhood by Irene Villar, and that's a very controversial book for a lot of people. I don't really want to talk about that here because I don't want to push anybody's buttons, but I do think it's an interesting book to read for anyone, whether what side of the political spectrum you're on. I think it's an important book actually for everyone to read. It's an interesting memoir, and I was going to read something out of that, but I decided not to. Maybe I will later on when I get more gutsy with this. But for today, we're going to read a poem. I'm not a big poem person, but there are a few poets that I have been impressed with and influenced by. So today we're going to read from Tennyson, Alfred Lord Tennyson. He's one of my favorite poets. He's a British poet. He was poet laureate for a long time back in the 19th century. And this book that I have here is a complete collection of all of his works and was published in, or printed in, you can't see that, I don't think, 1887. It's a book I found on eBay, actually, that I got for like $11. I was pretty excited. I like collecting old books. They are very fun. So, with that, I'm going to read you a poem called Love and Death. This is a poem that I had memorized for a little while for a poetry class, and I don't have it memorized anymore. So with that, I'm going to read you this poem and leave these words of Alfred Lord Tennyson with you. So here we go with Love and Death. What time the mighty moon was gathering light, Love paced the themed plots of paradise, and all about him rolled his lustrous eyes, when, turning round Acacia, full in view, Death, walking all alone beneath a yew, and talking to himself, first met his sight. You must be gone, said Death, these walks are mine. Love wept and spread his sheeny vans for flight, yet ere he parted said, this hour is thine, thou art the shadow of life, and as a tree stands in the sun and shadows all beneath, so in the light of great eternity, life creates the shade of death. The shadow passeth when the tree shall fall, but I shall reign forever over all. And that's Tennyson, Love and Death. Let me know what you guys think in comments. And again, punishments, go for it. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you, and you will see me tomorrow.